Hey everybody, it's Fran from Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela. This is the first episode of Season 3. What in the daggum world, y'all? We just can't believe it. We can't believe that people like to listen to us ramble. So it's just so much fun to be back. We took the summer off and just have so much to talk about and catch you guys up on. We've got plenty of content in the weeks ahead. So, as usual, this first episode is nothing but Fran and Angela rambling all over the place. Remember, we talk about the serious and the not so serious and everything in between. We love you guys so much. Welcome to Season 3 of Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela. Oh my gosh, Angela, this is the first time we're back in the studio, everybody, for Season 3.
Oh my goodness, we're back. We have missed you people. If you are listening, we have missed you.
We have missed all the people. We've missed this space. We've missed our time recording. I came in early because I'm like, I don't know if I remember how to do all this stuff. I remember how to talk, and I remember how to talk about all the things, but it's just like, oh my God, the technology side, what in the world are we doing? But here we are, Season 3. Oh my gosh.
It's so fun. We have got a lot to talk about.
We do. Your outline, Angela, for those of you y'all, I don't know why you would know this, but Angela's the one that tends to put our outline together for us so that sometimes I look at it well in advance. Sometimes I look at it like right before we hit record. And there's so much content in this outline that I don't know what we're going to get to, but y'all, welcome back. It's a lot.
It's a lot. I'm the nerd. That's what Fran was trying to say in a nicer way. I'm the nerd and Fran's the super fun one. And you've done some super fun things this summer.
Yeah, we both have.
We have not talked to the people since
May. The last episode was at the end of May. That was Morgan Sloan Adventurous episode, which seems like 1,000 years ago. It was episode 76. Go back and listen to it. It was perfect to kick off the summer.
Wow.
Little did we know that you and I would have our own small adventures over the summer.
We sure have. We love adventure.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about it. Okay, so we both did some fun things. We recently, good grief, it's the middle of August when we are recording this. So we took a late summer vacation. We went to Seaside, Florida, the first week of August. So I feel like we just got back, which we kind of did. But because of everybody's schedule and all the things that we could not go until the tail end of the summer, I think going right before school starts is a fabulous time to do vacation because you get to just truly rest beforehand. But, were the beaches still crowded? Yes. Were there people still down there? Yes. But it was fun. It was so worth it. We took Tyler's girlfriend with us, Emma. Shout out to you, Emma. It was fun. We've never done that before. And any picture that I posted in Instagram story, I cannot tell you the number of people that sent me a DM and said, "Is that a girl?"
You are severely outnumbered. You needed some girl power.
Yeah, for 20-something years. Yeah. It's just me and a bunch of boys, and they're like, hang on a minute, Fran. I see a girl in that photo. So that was fun. We had a house down there. That's a whole nother probably topic for another day because we've never done that, spent that kind of money to do that. For those of you all that are familiar with Seaside. But anyway, it was great. It was so fun. It's just my favorite place to go and relax.
Was there anything you were able to do that you might not have otherwise since Emma was there? Did you shop? Did you do any girl stuff?
No. I'm going to shop no matter what.
Good for you.
It was just nice having a girl there I would catch myself. I can't give you an example right now, but I would catch myself talking to her or asking her something that, I would only ask that to a girl. I would not talk about what we've been watching on Netflix with one of my boys. That sounds so dumb, but it's true.
No, it sounds real. I love a lot of things about Emma. I love that she can handle all those Thomas boys, just takes it in stride. She just fits right in. She's beautiful. She's fun.
Yeah,
I'm
was fun.
I'm glad you had some girl power.
Yes, and I tell you, I'm going to write about this on my personal Facebook page, and maybe this is in our outline. Yes, it is. Let's just skip right to it, Angela.
Go.
The sunscreen.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to write about it and post a picture because I need people to know. I don't care how old you are, wear your sunscreen. I'm 52 years old. I grew up in that time where we, didn't have sunscreen. I don't even think it existed. And we laid on trampolines with, nothing but baby oil on, and we just ruined our skin. Well, we age. We know that. Our bodies age and your skin ages. So I went to the dermatologist a couple of weeks before our trip to just have them check out something only on my face, and they ended up freezing off a couple of places, but then biopsying one particular place right smack dab in the middle of my face, and that was just a lot. It hurt. I hated every bit of it. There's something about things being done to your face that is interesting as far as just how that affects your confidence and your self-esteem. So it looked like somebody had taken a cigarette and just seared my face
on your cheek, like in the middle of your beautiful face,
on my cheek. And so I was lathered up in the sunscreen. I had 50 on my face and I had 70 on my body. And all that to say, people, wear your sunscreen.
Wear your sunscreen and go to the dermatologist.
Yes, do all the things, people.
Fran made me go to the dermatologist.
Yeah, you got your own dang story.
And they wound up cutting off a mole on my arm that they've told me 8 times. I keep asking them, no, it's not cancerous, but they do want to cut more of it for whatever reason. Fine, just do it. But
well, and here's the thing too. I didn't even have them look at the rest of my body, so I'm traumatized and terrified.
You're going to have to go back.
I'm going to have to go back.
I got the head to toe everything.
Yeah,
but
it's just a lot.
It's just a lot. Big sister reminders.
Yeah, big sister reminders. Okay, what was y'all's vacation?
We have always wanted to go see the big Sequoia trees in California. We've never been to California. My husband and I just celebrated 25 years of marriage. We've been together 30 years, and as long as I've known him, he has talked about these trees.
And these are not your regular average Joe trees.
Oh, my goodness. When I researched, like, the timeline, my logical, practical brain needs reference points. So I would look up at these huge trees. It's like looking up at the size of a football field. And the trees were here when Jesus was on this earth.
Crazy.
They were believed to be here when David killed Goliath. That just
That's
in my
crazy.
brain to look at a tree and go, well, you were here when that happened.
Yeah.
But they're just beautiful. So we flew into Fresno, California. We went to an In-N-Out burger for the very first time. That was our first stop.
What'd y'all think?
It was good.
It's fine.
In-N-Out, Whataburger, that
think
Crystal,
it's all
they're all
same.
burgers. I may get hated for that, but
It's fine.
whatever. Burgers, Freddy's. We hadn't talked about Freddy's in a while. Bring that back. Anyway, we went to Kings Canyon and Sequoia. We saw these huge, beautiful trees. We took Kaylee's boyfriend, Luke, with us.
Yeah.
So Cole and Luke and Kaylee decided you can climb up on one of the trees called Tunnel Log. It's sideways, and you can drive under it.
That's crazy.
Drive a car through a tree. That's how
Right.
big they are. So the kids are all up on the tree. I'm making their picture. My husband, who has got hard eyes, over all these trees. This is day 2. He decides he wants to be on top of this tree with them to make his picture. So instead of doing the mature, wise thing and walking to the end of the tree where other people were climbing up easily and walking across the tree, Carl just does this running, bounding, like, I'm going to run and jump on a rock and jump on the tree and pop into the picture.
Just so excited, like a little kid on Christmas.
It breaks my heart because he was so excited. Like, you could just tell he was 18 in his mind and he wanted to be up there with the teenagers.
This is about to take a turn, though, isn't it?
Oh, he tore his ACL.
I'm not laughing. I'm sorry.
It's not funny, but it's just incredible that, like, day 2 of this bucket list hiking vacation, he tore his ACL. We didn't know at the time. Since then we've had MRIs. We're back at the doctor. This is going to be the geriatric episode with all these doctor appointments. But he was such a trooper because he was nauseous. Like, we knew something popped in his knee. He was very, very sick feeling. But we found a local Walmart and put a brace on his leg and gave him some ice and ibuprofen, and he just soldiered on through it. I don't know how he did it in hindsight.
Well, it's just the good Lord taking care of him, because the
Yes.
Lord knew this trip meant a lot to Carl Snyder.
He was determined. So we had 3 nights in Sequoia and Kings Canyon. Again, if you have not been, the coolest thing in my mind, well, one of the coolest things was you're just driving through this barren, dry land. It was 108 degrees in California. Everything just is desolate. It's rocky mountains that just don't have much greenery anywhere, if at all. And then you go 6,000 feet up in elevation, and then you're in a lush forest with huge, massive trees. And I'm just looking at this going, we're on the top of the mountain. You know,
Right.
the valley was desolate and barren, which is opposite what I'm used to. So it was just incredible. It's something we've never seen before. And then I am scared of heights. And I had to conquer that fear 2 times on this trip. But we climbed, it's called Moro Rock, Moro. And I wanted to do this hike, but there were all these warnings for people who are scared of heights.
Yeah,
And every time I read a warning, I was like, well, maybe I
gonna die.
can't do this.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
I'll die here.
Yeah.
But we did it, and I was I felt like I sent you a text. I was like, I did it.
Oh, for real? Listen,
I'm
you did
brave.
hard things.
Yeah.
That's just a lot and scary.
And my husband, in so much pain, who hiked this hike, he wanted to do that too. So he did that hike with us. And on the way down, he stopped, and I thought, are you okay? Are you in pain? And he was fine. He had bent over to notice some teeny tiny red wildflowers that were just sprouting up in a crevice.
I love it.
On this mountain.
I love nothing more than to see a flower coming up out of the concrete.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And that's what this was, just in the middle of nothing. There was this beautiful bouquet of flowers. And I just was so impressed by that. And I just thought, how the Lord must delight. When we stop to delight and notice things, he put that there for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
And me and everybody else walked right past it.
You're right.
And my husband was leaned over with his camera making pictures and just marveling at these little wildflowers. So when you just look for things, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But we left there and went to Yosemite Park for a few days. And it's a lot of valleys and mountains and granite and just beautiful things. And then we went to South Lake Tahoe for a few nights. And then we flew home through Reno. And if any of you listening ever want to do this trip, I am trip nerd. I love to save money. I've got all kinds of good ideas and places we stayed. Tahoe was beautiful. We did a gondola ride to the top of the biggest mountain.
No, ma'am.
And I thought, I was in a sweat because
Yes.
you're in this like sky
can't.
bucket enclosed thing. And then they put you in the little ski lift.
No,
and it is
ma'am.
open air.
I can't.
And you look down and you see your feet and then you see way below you.
I can't do that in Gatlinburg.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So this is how much my husband loves me. They start playing the Disney Soarin' music from the ride that we love to
Okay.
calm my fears.
But still.
It was still terrible.
Yeah.
But I did. And Carl made the funniest picture without me knowing. And I mean, my face looks like you can read every word that I'm thinking. And
all the cuss words.
it was horrible.
Yes.
But I did it.
You
and my
did
kids
it.
got to see me do it. So anyway, it was good. It was one of those where you just feel like I've experienced wonderful
Yeah.
things. And
And you know, I said to you, what's tricky about this trip is that like if you're listening to this when we record it and release it in the month of August, you have to plan and reserve and do all of this a year in advance,
Yeah.
almost.
yeah, so now's the time.
Now's
for next
the
summer.
time.
And then they had wildfires.
Yeah.
There was a wildfire that was dangerously close to where we were, but by the time we got there, we were not affected at all by the smoke. But we got to see some of the plains and just the way that they fight those fires, and then the way the sequoia trees are made by the Lord to be insulated against them and to stand so strong. Just so many lessons.
I can't wait for everyone to see a picture of this. That gives you some perspective of you
Yeah.
can drive a car through it and the size of your family up against one of these trees. I love, love, love it. Yay, us
was
and all the
fun.
trips.
It
yeah.
was fun.
Okay, what else? What else do we want to talk about?
Well, Kaylee left that trip at that airport to go with her boyfriend to the beach to join his family's vacation. And, you know, teenagers, they just strike out and do whatever, whenever. So the wise old owls were like, how about y'all wait till in the morning? And they decided to leave that evening and got to Nowhere, Mississippi, and her
course.
transmission quit.
Yeah, yay. Yay, us. Yay, Mom and
Lesson
Dad.
learned, teachable moments. But anyway, blah blah blah. It's under warranty barely. All the extended car warranty calls we've made fun of. The extended warranty saved us. So Kaylee's getting a new transmission for her birthday.
She's probably absolutely not thrilled.
And our kids learned how to gamble on vacation.
Hey.
We played Texas Hold'em a lot. So that was our nighttime entertainment. So we got home and Cole wanted a set of cards for his birthday.
That's
so
awesome.
we've picked up all kinds of new fun things.
That's
this
awesome.
summer.
Moderation, kiddos.
That's right.
Moderation. That's
That's
hysterical. Okay, what else?
Well,
you're in charge of this outline,
okay.
Angela.
Well, I don't want to just, I'm going to mention one more travel thing.
Okay.
And this is not just going to be the travel doctor episode,
Okay.
but we're just getting caught up. So Atlas turned 3.
Yes, he sure did. Can you believe it, you guys?
Atlas is 3 years old.
This is Atlas. He's the son of Lydia, who we had in a previous episode. We'll make sure to link that in show notes.
We will link that in show notes.
So that you can go back and hear her story, because Lydia had Atlas when she was how old?
She was 17.
17 and thought she was going to have an abortion. So this is Atlas, the infamous Atlas that we've talked about a lot.
This is Atlas. So Atlas and his mama wanted a quick vacation of some kind this summer. So we worked in a long weekend at the beach. And if you've ever been to Gulf Shores, Alabama, there's a place called the Hangout where they encourage people of all ages to dance on the tables.
Did Carl get up and dance on the table?
Carl got up and danced on the table with the torn ACL. Like, we have not learned our lessons. So they call out birthday people, and Atlas looked at us like we had 3 heads. When we were telling him to get on the table, he was like, "Is this a trap? Are you going to punish me later?" So he's living his best life dancing on that table. And then they had just different points in time. But when it was time for the dads, Carl was reluctant at first and then really fully embraced it, and then questioned whether or not it was a good idea with his knee.
Yeah, but he did it.
He did it. And they have a foam party. They dropped this foam. Anyway, Atlas was living his best life. And he wanted a blue monster truck and a purse to put it in. So Honey and Pop found that baby a monster truck. We have not bought him a purse yet. But
So precious.
Stay tuned. Well, one thing that you and I talked about, I'm trying to think of all the things. It's like when you catch up with an old friend and you're like, okay, we've got 3 months to catch up on.
I know.
One thing you and I talked about, we are not going to get into other doctor appointments and all the drudgery and sound like Mamaw. But
The senior citizen episode.
But
however,
you said something, and I think you were kind of like kidding, but mostly not. Like, we have girl talk for teenagers. Why do we not have woman talk? Because listen, it's just like, surprise, now that you're this age, all these things are going to happen.
yes, I'm not going to get into all of the things. I'm not.
Call us later if you need details.
Yes, if you want to talk about anything and you're over 45, I'm more than happy to talk to you, because I am 52. I'm just going to leave it at that
I'm
there.
so glad you were a wealth of information for me,
you're
Fran.
welcome, everybody, for living through all of the places of hell for you ahead of time. And I'm happy to guide and hold your hand. But yes, it's been just it's just interesting. It's frustrating. It's just a lot. Nobody really talks about anything, prepares you for anything. So here in Jackson, we have this program, this opportunity for girls, I don't know, say they're in the 6th grade or so. They go to these classes with their mom called Girl Talk.
It was terrible, but necessary. They gave you stress chocolate the first night. I ate the whole bag. They were like, this is for the whole class.
Absolutely it is. Mom is sweating buckets. The daughter's like, what the heck are we talking about? So you have that to prepare them for what's coming in every aspect of their sweet little precious lives. Well, then after that, you're just kind of like, well, you know what? Good for you. Figure it all out. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck with the rest of your life.
Good luck with the rest of your life. If you've had children, well, you do have somebody to hold your hand through a pregnancy, through delivery. You have a pediatrician that helps you take care of that child. All the things. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you have no idea what is going on, and nobody can really help you, guide you. It's like the most ridiculous thing in all of the world. And it's just not fair. I just feel like there should be, maybe it's a support group that we need.
We need a life coach for...
Good gosh. You do. And so anyway, it's just been very eye-opening. And so if anybody has questions, listen, I'm your girl.
Ask Dr. Fran.
I'm happy to help you and tell you what I think and lead you and guide you. And anyway, blah, blah, blah.
And just to know you're not alone in it.
Yeah.
Better together.
Well,
we did summer Bible study
we
again
did.
this summer.
We sure did.
That was sweet and precious. At the barn, we went through the Gospel of John.
Yep.
So if any of our Bible study girls are listening, we had so much fun with you all. The last night, we kidnapped Fran and Robin, and we went on a ranger ride.
We sure did. Over all the Snyder property. That
Over
was
all
fun.
the farm. And the little baby sunflowers hadn't come up yet.
I know, and you're going to have to share a picture with us, and we
will.
need to see you. Oh, y'all had a family picture
We
made.
had family pictures made for the first time since Cole had like all of his teeth. The
Yeah.
last time we made pictures, he was missing his 2 front teeth.
Well,
it's
here we go.
been years. So we made sure to do a picture in the sunflowers because there was no rain this summer. So
know.
it was this whole ordeal of how to get those
The
sunflowers to
whole
grow.
United States, I feel like, has been in a drought.
Yes. Well, the United States may have been in a drought, but Fran, we were pretty much thriving in the month of July.
We were.
When we no, well, let me back up and say July Eve, that would have been June 30th, right?
June 31st.
June 30th. June 30th.
Do you remember how hard it was to figure out how many days were in a month?
Yes, I can sing the song, but
I never learned the song. I can't sing the song. I just have to say it out loud and go, that doesn't sound right. There is no February 30th. You know, outside of February, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, equally hard was this anticipation of our social media fast
Dun, dun, dun.
for the month of July. And
Goodness.
I have such clear memories, which
Y'all.
I should. It hasn't been that long, but
Sweating buckets. I'm
June
getting
the-
anxious right now thinking
I
about
know.
it again.
yeah, we were talking to Dory. Dory,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're listening.
Listen, Dory Cook. Listen, sister. You're getting on this podcast. I don't care what you say. You're going to be a guest this season.
Now that we've announced it, maybe she'll help us firm up a date. But we were so nervous, apprehensive. We've been on social media forever.
And I am on all the dadgum
You
socials.
You're the most social person.
I am on, pretty much, I'm on all the socials.
Yeah.
So it was a massive detox.
So the idea of we're going totally dark, we took them off our phones. We logged out of that. I mean, it was like having to lock it up behind 3 security walls. But it was like delete the app, log out of it, do all the things because I did not trust myself just to. Because people were like, well, do you need to just hop on there and check? And I was like, no.
Listen, if you can find me a person, I swear they don't exist. They're lying if they tell you they can. I don't think it's possible for people just to hop on every 4th day for 4 minutes.
No.
I think if you have a social media account of any kind, you are on that thing a whole lot more than you think you are and more than you care to be.
Yep.
So the $1 million question has been, what and why? What social media apps are we going to? Probably all of them if they're on your phone. And then why? Why are we doing this? And we both learned a lot about ourselves. I want you to talk a little bit about that. For me, one of my greatest takeaways, and I think we have a lot of crossover here, and I think anybody's takeaway would probably be somewhere along these lines. You know the scientific word for this, but my brain did not know how to focus and concentrate for a long period of time. I learned that because when I put social media away and it wasn't on my phone anymore, I would just not be able, like I wanted to read. And I did read 3 books in the month of July. But I forgot how to read. I forgot how to concentrate because I was so used to picking up my dadgum phone. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose my ability to not care what's happening on my phone. So my notifications are still not on. And I forget. Because it's like, oh, if I go to open up Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, I've got all these notifications. I'm so sorry if I didn't respond as quick as you want me to. But I don't want my mind to go back to how it was.
I don't like the way it makes me feel now that I'm back on it. I can feel it. When I'm on there, it's like when you eat a little too much dessert and then you regret it.
Just one more bite.
Yeah.
And then a whole another hour goes by.
I can feel myself getting really cranky.
Yeah.
And it's
toxic.
It's so, and it's like, well, why am I choosing to do this? And it's making me feel worse. I guess that applies to every bad habit in my life.
Exactly. But anyway, what did you find out about yourself?
Well, I'm going to go broad, and then I'm going to go specific to me. I found out the average iPhone user touches their phone 2,617 times per day.
Touches their phone over 2,000 times a day.
Almost 3,000.
That's insane and disgusting.
Wrong with us?
It's disgusting.
What is wrong with us?
But some of that is necessary and good. So hear us say these phones as a whole are not terrible.
That's right.
They're not. I mean, there's good. I mean, good grief, you're probably listening to our podcast through an app, and we're so thankful for that. My Bible app is on my phone.
Right.
I read different things on my phone. I watch videos of good, edifying things for me on my phone. So it's not all doom and gloom and horrible.
It's not all bad. And I try to remember that too and show grace. You know, it's hard when you're with someone and you want that person to give you some attention and they're buried in their phone. Mm-hmm. But I try to be mindful of all the different things people do on their phones.
Right.
Like, you know, we're not sitting at home reading, most of us, reading an actual newspaper.
Right.
People are reading things on their phones. So, you know, I think we've got to be grace givers with that too, because we all have different uses. But the main thing I'm learning is, well, I'm going to say a couple of things. Our brains were not designed for 24/7 constant input of all these things. Not even bad things, but even good things coming at us all the time.
Right.
I had no margin in my brain to even hear myself think. And let's hear the Lord.
Well, for sure. And it just became normal to have your brain full and maxed out, and then you feel guilty for resting your brain and not having thoughts and information coming in, and that in itself would create anxiety.
Yep.
And it's just this endless nutty cycle.
It's so nutty. You know, we were talking about it as our coping mechanism, and why can't Jesus just be my coping mechanism is the $1 million question. Why do I have to keep picking up my phone all the And again, sometimes there's great encouragement to be had there. But for me, it was just, and I learned this within the first 24 hours. I was at a concert, and it was very interesting to be at a concert and not be actively posting things.
Right.
But
because listen, you know, you're thinking their life is missing out if they can't see that I'm at this concert.
How will people know? And this is really a horrible example of getting off social media, because social media helped this conversation I'm about to say, because Carl posted a picture of us at a concert. My cousin that I never get to see lives in Nashville, was one section over from us at the concert. And we only figured that out because of a post. So it's not always bad.
Right.
But the cool thing was I got to meet her fiance for the first time. We got to meet up and talk, and I realized, and I even told her, I said, let me tell you what I've realized 5 minutes into a social media fast, basically. I had not had a conversation with her in person or on the phone, voice to voice. I had seen all of her social media updates, felt like I knew this guy that may have been creeped out, that I was like, oh, hey, how are you? And he was like, I don't know who you are.
Right.
And I know all about him because of social media. It just has really opened my eyes to what a cheap substitute social media has become for real, meaningful relationships. You know, I would see her things and then in my mind think, okay, well, we're caught up. I can move on and catch up with other people. But I've not even heard her voice. We had some great conversation about things that we both need to follow up with each other on. And that was just very eye-opening for me. And it makes me want to be more intentional outside of my phone.
Well, and you and I have talked too. Somebody else brought this to my attention as a suggestion moving forward, and it's kind of tricky because the suggestion was, you know, we've got all these friends and followers, and we are following and have all these friends, but yet when you look at a feed of any kind, you're like, I have no idea who you are. I'm not weird about people following me and befriending me on social media because I don't post anything that, I don't know, I just don't care, honestly. So I do have a lot of people that I accept friends of and followers that I'm like, I have no idea who they are. But at the end of the day, when you've scrolled through, you're like, I've either, like you said, got caught up with my friends, or I have no idea who you are and why am I even following you and what do I do with that?
And it becomes stressful when, I'm not that it's bad to be concerned about people, but my mind is occupied about people's things that they've posted, whether, they're in crisis or whether they're having just a normal day. But it's like my brain is processing and thinking about, oh, well, their kid had his first day in kindergarten. I don't even know who these people are. Like that. It's not that it's bad, but think about the model Jesus set and how tiny and small he lived his life. He had the 12. He had the 3 within the 12. We are not designed to if you've got 2,000 Facebook friends, there's no literal way you can stay caught up effectively with 2,000 people walking through life together.
Right.
And what it's done for me is just I've missed by going so far and broad. I've missed. It's like those relationships are more surface level and shallow, and I'm missing the meaningful, deep-rooted connections. I need to reallocate that time and space.
Right.
And it's fine to scroll through, for an allotted amount of time. I don't need to be scrolling for hours on end, but check on people, fine. Be social on social media. There's nothing wrong with that. But go deeper with your up-close people.
Well, and two, it's like our brain we want to have time in our scroll that's just kind of mindless and just, that can be a way we can say we're letting our brain rest, but are we really? So that's an issue. But then also, too, okay, I'm absorbing all of this content that has really no benefit to me. And then when I am trying to engage with people face to face, do we know how to do that anymore? I think that people honestly think that I've seen your life on social media, so we are, using air quotes, all caught up. And if you were to run into that person, even though you feel all caught up, you would really be kind of like, it'd be strange on how to talk to them and be with them. And that's our concern for the younger generation that has grown up on social media, is that their social skills, their relational skills, their ability to converse in a deeper, meaningful level is just severely hindered because they're just not doing it.
You know what else that makes me think about, too? Two of my favorite work friends, Lisa and Jennifer, I was talking to them, and they were like, oh, well, we don't even have to hear about your trip. We saw it looked great. Everything was perfect. And in their opinion, they were right. What they didn't know, and I was like, y'all, I need to do in all transparency, here's my trashed house. Here's the fight I got in with my husband. Here's how crabby I was to my kids. Because it was like, as my friends, I wanted to have a different conversation with them about some of the funnier things. And then I thought, I'm just as guilty of what I'm saying. Like, let's not just put out pretty curated, this is my perfect life, when nobody has that life.
Right.
But I'm just as guilty because I didn't show nobody wants to see all that. But at the same time, it can be helpful to remember, hey, nothing is what it appears to be on social media. But we also run into, just like you said, I assume I know all about what happened on your trip because I saw your post. And then it almost feels redundant to say, hey, tell me about what happened.
Right.
But
it's just so interesting. I think the bottom line, the takeaway for everyone is every person needs to figure out what their relationship is with social media. And then they need to decide what kind of safe boundaries to put in place that involve some rest.
Yes.
And so it could be turn off your notifications, leave it there. I mean, all my social media apps are still there. Turn off your notifications so that you're not getting constant notifications. But then also, take breaks from it. Take regular resting breaks, whether that's every Sunday, once a month, you take a week off. You get to decide what you need to do. But from an emotional, healthy respect, and just for the sake of the health of your brain, we all need to be doing this.
Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
You ready for this? What are some of the things that you did in July that you might not have otherwise?
Well, listen, I'm not finished because it's a 6-week study, but I did a Bible study, Beth Moore Galatians Bible study, I haven't done that in so long and forgot how much I loved it and how much I needed it, because I think we all, if you're not in good, small, healthy accountability, biblically grounded small groups, then you're staying on the surface. Mm-hmm. You just are. And in-depth Bible study causes you to go deep into the Word and to actually learn things. So the fact that I did it and I was able to focus on it, I'm almost done with it. I'm so thankful for that. I read a book called Educated. It is a nonfiction book by Tara Westover. I swear to you people listening right now, please, for the love of all things, read this book. I think I heard they're in the process of turning it into a movie. It is the best memoir I've ever read. Absolutely outstanding.
And what's it called?
It's called Educated.
Educated.
By Tara Westover. True story. And then I read Beautiful People Don't Just Happen by Sauls. Highly recommend. It's just a beautiful, thought-provoking, not hard, just a lovely book to read. And then you and I we also read Rest and War by Ben Stuart. So just reading, just letting my brain remember how to do something that it used to love to do.
You know what else we resurrected?
What did we do?
Handwritten notes.
Oh, yes, handwritten notes. I love a good handwritten note. Our beloved friend and the president here at Union University, where I work and where we record this, Dr. Dub Oliver, taught me a long time ago, just, if you want to bring some nice disciplines and practices into your life, let this be one of them. And so every week for the last, I'm still doing it, so however many weeks it's been, someone is going to get a handwritten note from me during the course of that week.
I love that.
Yeah. I haven't written you one, though, Angela.
Well, we text and Voxer an awful lot. That's more personal than social media. Okay. I also have thought a lot in July about where I've become very self-aware. Mm-hmm. I don't know about very self-aware, more self-aware than I was. But, I struggle with I'm either super busy or I feel like I'm being lazy.
Right.
And just finding that in between. And I'm learning that I am addicted to, I don't know that I'm addicted to stress, but addicted to the adrenaline rush of, I just fixed that problem.
You want to be needed.
Yeah.
You want to feel like I'm rescuing someone and I'm coming in and I'm helping them.
How dumb does that sound?
No, it's just how you are.
It's how I make my living.
Absolutely.
It's like everything in me is fighting against that.
Well, it's kind
of how to rest from it.
It's kind of like a doctor. They live in a state of crisis all the time.
And when there is calm, I tell you what I've learned that I do. I'm reaching for my phone to try to dig around and find the crisis. And I think social media is too crisis driven. So I was off. I couldn't find the crisis. It was like, I don't want to bring Candy Crush back. It made me hate life. But it was like, okay, there's got to be something somewhere that I'm supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah.
And for me, it took a few weeks, but then I was truly able to let go of that. And it was the best feeling in the whole wide world.
That's some freedom.
Right.
Because with or without social media, your life is that.
Yeah.
And so even if you had no social media, we've talked about you would constantly refresh your email because there is going to be a crisis in your work email.
And then I would get mad because it was Friday at 8 o'clock and I'd read something that I was not going to deal with until Monday. So yes, I have issues. Yes, I also have a therapist. But let me say loud and clear, thank you, Jesus, for freedom and abundant life here and now, because I have learned how to manage all of this.
How to manage all that. Okay, Angela, we are going to wrap it up. Let's talk about one quick short thing. What do we need to end this episode with? What's something wonderful and fun and encouraging and positive that doesn't have anything to do with social media?
Well, we both have brand new ministry seasons.
Yeah, we do.
About to kick off.
Yeah,
I get to be with my volleyball team in the morning at their retreat.
That's right.
And I'm so excited to be with them. And I love that we both have been disciplined about hearing from the Lord, and now it's very clear who our people are that are in our small circle that need to hear from us.
Right.
Are your student workers back?
No. Well, by the time this releases on August the 23rd, we will be having our first day of training with me that night. So it's a new season, new students. Y'all know how much I love these students. I'm always thankful. I'm always excited. I'm just really grateful that the Lord chooses to use both of us to pour into students' lives.
Yes, and I will say this too, Bible recap people. If anybody listening is in the Bible recap plan that we started January 1st, Fran and I are both however many days behind. Who cares?
You keep talking, I'm looking to see. I'm 13 days behind.
Well, I think I'm like 16, and I listened to 2 of them 2 different times in the car today to try to get caught up. But you know what? The number one word in the Old Testament is return. That word return is used more than any other in the Old Testament because the Lord knows that life is hard and we are going to wander, if it's on purpose, if it's just because life is busy, but we always need to return. He is right there waiting on us to do that. And wherever I've been in the Bible plan, not every day because some of these Old Testament passages are hard, but...
And I feel like we've been in Isaiah for 1,700 days.
Oh, yeah. This morning I was in the, raise you up on eagle's wings. I was like, I put both hands in the air. I was like, I know this passage in Isaiah and I needed it. But just keep going.
Yeah.
God is so good and He loves you so much.
We're not going to talk about this right now because we're wrapping up, but maybe one day... Well, we do talk about this throughout the season and the episodes is not making our Bible reading a homework assignment.
That's right.
Because this kind of read through the Bible in a year, which for me is a real struggle because I like to move at my own pace and then I feel guilty for being behind and so therefore I quit. And, we'll talk about that later, maybe at another time. But the bottom line is just keep pressing on. Yeah. If it's been a minute, then you know what? Just pick up where you're supposed to be or just do your own thing. Just be in the Word of God.
Be in the Word and let it change you.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah. Okay, Angela, this was fun.
Yay.
We did it.
We're back.
We did it. Hooray. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on Rambling Through Everyday Life with Fran and Angela.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. Don't forget to scroll down and check out the show notes for the week. Have you subscribed to the podcast? Make sure you do that so you don't miss an episode. We release every Tuesday. We would love for you to join our Facebook group, follow us on Instagram, as well as our YouTube channel, and all of those links are available in the show notes. Have a great week, everybody. Remember Proverbs 16:24. Gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. We love you so much. Thank you for letting us serve you each week.